Tell me the duck story.
Bum bum bum, ba-dum ba-dum. A duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man, run in the stand, hey, bum bum bum, got any grapes? The man said, no, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get you a glass? The duck said, I'll pass.
And he waddled away, waddle waddle. And he waddled away, waddle waddle waddle. Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. I'm Tyler, and with me as always are Smitty and Herb. Finally,
is the last. So we had one episode right where it was all three of us in between the illnesses.
Yeah.
You were gone for what, 3 weeks? Or well, we were gone for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and then we did one.
Yeah, with Ryan.
And then you came back, and then I left
Yeah.
because I was dying.
so yeah, I mean it's been so sporadic. It's just, I mean, these things are so unpredictable. But anyway,
There's always one constant.
Yeah,
One constant: everyone's dying.
we are all here, finally, and we are part of the Pod Hub Network.
Also, get us Tong, whoever you are. I'm as confused as you are.
You can go to podhubnetwork.com, find us, find all the other shows on there.
Mono.
And we are sponsored by Teach Barbershop. Teach Barbershop is an old-fashioned barbershop located at 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. Open 10 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and Saturday 9 to 4. Every Tuesday, Christian, who's the owner and operator there, does $5 off for military personnel, first responders, and nurses. Right now, he's got Teach Christmas Drive going on. So anything that's donated, whether it be toys, monetary donations, Christmas cards, clothes, it's all going to the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. He had his event. He had so much there already at that time. I don't know exactly how much has been raised, but it's doing a great thing, and it's raised a ton. So shout out to everybody that was part of that. And going along with the Christmas spirit, we got Rock Around the 412 going on, year 2 of it, our pinned tweet on Twitter, and it's getting close to that time. So
about 3 weeks away, something like that.
Yeah. So please continue to donate, share it, read the mission. Our pinned tweet on Twitter will give you all the information right there. Also, we still at the time, right now, only have like one set in stone family. So once again, if anybody's listening to this and knows of a family in need that this Christmas time, please reach out to us and we will get in touch with them, make sure that they're cool with us doing it, and then we'll be able to, do the Christmas for them. It was really cool. I think I mentioned it on last episode, but obviously Herb was not here, and we might have people that were listening this time that weren't here last time. So the family that we are like set in stone donating to, and they know about it now and everything, they actually, it's like a blessing because they have to put like thousands of dollars into their vehicle now, which like came out of nowhere. So they were like kind of scrambling to figure out what they were going to do at Christmas time.
Yeah.
So it's just now we're able to come in and make that happen. So it's just, perfect timing. And I think the best word to describe it is, like I said, a blessing. So anyway, Rock Around the 412 year 2, get involved with it. It's our pinned tweet on Twitter. And with that being said, we can start talking about sports. There is a lot to talk about.
I've missed a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
Did we get any questions when you asked?
one of them is like the first thing that we're going to talk about anyway, regarding baseball and specifically the Pirates, narrowing their managerial search down to 2 candidates.
Thank God, first off.
Thank
God it's only 2.
Thank God it's 2, and thank God they're both outside faces.
Yeah.
Because, I really didn't want Jeff Bannister or Cora. So Cora's actually a front runner for the Mets bench coach position.
But they don't know that.
So we'll see if that happens.
The Mets just want everything to do with the Pirates, don't they?
I don't know. I guess, yeah. They might. They want to trade for Marte and. Anyway, so the 2 names
I
that
see you have pitching.
are still
I'll take some pitching.
The 2 names that are still being linked to the Pirates as the potential 2 finalists, quote unquote, are Derek Shelton, the Twins bench coach, and Matt Quatraro. Part of me wants Shelton just so I don't have to say that last name. But so to break this down a little bit, Derek Shelton comes from a hitting background. He had been the hitting coach in the past. He was actually with the Rays. These 2 worked together actually with the Rays. Derek Shelton was then fired from his hitting coach position, went to the Twins, and he was not the hitting coach there. I think a lot of people were thinking, that was the case.
Yeah.
They came from a hitting background. He was the bench coach. Their hitting coach actually also left the organization. He's now the Marlins bench coach. So
regression in the AL Central is what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
so I mean, we'll see what the Twins do because their offense was ridiculous last year.
Yes.
And now, if Shelton is hired by the Pirates, he's gone, and their hitting coach would have also have left as well. And then the other Matt Quatraro coming from the Rays, an organization that a lot of people I think as Pirate fans can look at and say that's what we want to be.
Or they hate.
Yeah, or they hate, but they look at them with that's what we could be. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to spend top dollar. They don't. They have like $0 committed past this year.
Literally.
Yeah. So the Rays just find a way to stay competitive year in and year out. And if you can pluck some guys from that organization to come in here and bring that philosophy.
I mean, the only two consistent players when I think of the Rays up until 2 seasons ago was Kiermaier and Archer.
Yeah.
So now it's just Kiermaier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because Evan Longoria went to the Giants. He was like the face of that franchise for a long time.
That was a dumb signing by the Giants. But
yeah. But seriously, they never typically have there's very few franchise players for that team because they're, along with the Pirates are, they don't hang on to guys.
They're not in the biggest market, but the fact that nobody goes to their games makes them like kind of a small market team because they can't spend money like other teams do.
No.
And they just do it properly.
Yeah.
And get lucky with something.
And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at is a lot of people just want to look at payroll. And, I think the way to go about it is it's not about how much money you're spending. It's about how you're spending that
Exactly.
money. I mean, for example, Travis d'Arnaud signed for 2 years, $16 million with the Braves. I think that would have been a good signing for the Pirates. I think that he found a little bit of offense last year with the Rays, and that's not the most hitter-friendly part.
No.
But I think more than that is the defense that he brings. Going to the Braves, that's a pretty big ballpark, so I'm not sure that the offense will be up to par.
Yeah.
At least not with. I think last year was probably an anomaly year offensively for him. But you look at what the Pirates' catching situation; it's not pretty.
No.
And $8 million is I guess kind of steep for the Pirates.
Well, how much was on Cervelli?
What you mean?
On his previous contract, how much do they owe him a year?
It's 10, around 10.
I'll say this year, I
Okay.
thought he owed like 10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tigers acquired Dario Agrazal from Pirates for cash. Also, he popped up on my Facebook account last night as a suggested friend. So
That's
sorry.
what happens when you add like one or two of the boys.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
boy.
lie. Whenever I heard Matt Quatraro,
Yeah.
I was expecting someone that was Hispanic. And this dude is really
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was funny. Somebody put up like a side by side of him and Shelton, and we're like, these dudes look like 93.7 The Fan host and listener.
Yeah, just the
That-
last name
actually,
made me think he was going to be Hispanic. But no.
Do you guys have a preference at all between those two candidates?
I don't know enough from the things you were telling me beforehand. Probably Quatraro.
Yeah.
English.
I'm picking him because of his last name. Because I can't tell you a lick about either of them.
And I want to see how
Just being honest.
I want to see how 93.7 and all of the Yinzers try and pronounce his name and manage to misspell it and pronounce it wrong for the next 5 years.
Quattro.
Okay, so
San Diego State University.
so Derek Shelton has been
Key and Peele
with
skip.
Indians, Rays, Blue Jays, and Twins.
Not
Those are the organizations he's been through. Matt Quatraro has been with the Indians and Rays. So, yeah, those two, I mean, were linked together for a long time.
yeah.
There's a lot of history between the two.
I would like to see the team's
3
track
years
records.
difference in age.
Oh, okay.
Quatraro's 46. Derek Shelton's 49.
I'd like to see the track records of the teams and what position they filled on those teams while they were there. From my understanding, from what I know, Quatraro is definitely the better choice in my mind.
Okay,
But-
so from 2010 to 2013, Quatraro was the minor league hitting coordinator for the Rays. Then the Indians hired him to their major league staff as their assistant hitting coach for the 2014 season.
Oh,
The Rays hired him as their third base coach after 2017. And when Charlie Montoya was hired as the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays after the 2018 season, who had been the bench coach for the Rays, that's when he was promoted to the bench coach position for the Rays.
So I'm kind of the assistant hitting coach thing in 2014 for the time he was there. Sounds kind of good to me. You know?
Yeah.
That was some good. Those were good
Um,
teams, and they could hit.
So Shelton spent 5 seasons as the hitting coach for the Indians from 05 to 09.
Those were bad teams.
He accepted the job with the Rays at the same position after the 09 season. Rays fired him in September of 16. December of 2016, the Toronto Blue Jays hired him as the quality control coach. On November 6, 2017, the Minnesota Twins hired him as the bench coach.
I question what quality control means.
Yeah, there's the exact same title for a position in the NFL, and I still don't know what it means for either.
I'd be very curious to follow that guy around. See what a
All
day
you
in
do
life.
is watch film.
This is all I think of when I hear that dude's last name.
Quatro, San Jose State University.
Oh my God!
Quattro Quad.
Is that Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the East versus West.
I think that's my guy between the two.
I would agree, just from track record and resumes.
What did you say that title was?
Quality
Qual-
control.
Yeah, I want to know what that means.
So you can chime back in when you figure out what that means. Moving on to you mentioned the
Yeah,
Mets.
stay silent, Beefy.
The Mets with Marte.
Mhm.
Interested in Marte, and the Pirates do have a couple other trade candidates as well.
Yes.
Where are you at with the idea of a total rebuild? For one, and two, just the idea of Marte being traded.
So typically what happens when a GM comes in, they overview the entire organization, clear out the people they don't want or don't see in the future.
Bly.
Wow.
No, we never talked. We never talked about
Attacked.
Thursday.
Attacked. And typically you're going to have a rebuild whenever a GM comes in. But I don't think the team was as bad as they finished last year. I'm not saying by a whole lot, but I don't think they're a 69-win team. I think they're more mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm more concerned with who the pitching coach is going to be than who the manager is going to be. If you get the right guy, I think they could stand a chance. If you get somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and not Ray Searage. But I'm not against a rebuild at all.
Okay, so here's why I would lean towards a rebuild is because even though I agree with you, I don't think they're as bad as they finished last year. I think that at their peak, still with what everything else that's going on in the NL, and I don't think that they're in a position to compete even at their best.
So I agree because the West and the East are just monsters outside of the Marlins. But the Central still is kind of weak if the Brewers can't keep it together.
Yeah, I mean they've lost Grandal to the White Sox, which is also
and they have Yelich, obviously.
Yeah,
But
and they're probably going to lose Moustakis as well. But for me, so they've lost those two pieces, which is obviously going to hurt the offense.
their pitching is
That's
no
what I
guarantee,
say is they
yeah.
need to reinvest the dollars that they didn't to retain those guys on pitching.
Yeah.
Because if
Badly.
you can look at the Nationals last year, they let Harper go, but they
Brought
reused
in
that
Corbin.
money, to put into pitching, saying we're going to win games differently now.
Yeah.
You know,
And they
we're gonna
brought in
set
Anibal
ourselves up.
Sanchez, which was one of the biggest underrated signings of the year.
Yeah, it's weird. And
Weird,
obviously,
yeah.
Juan Soto took the step up.
Yeah.
Robles was okay.
Yeah, he was average.
But yeah, they supplanted the loss of Harper with pitching.
Yeah.
So
Kurt
the
Suzuki was
Brewers
good, too.
probably need to. Yeah, I mean they used like kind of a platoon position there. You
Yeah.
know, certain guys catch certain pitchers, but
Kind of like the Pirates did in 2014-15.
but yeah, I mean I agree that the Central's kind of a question mark. That the Cubs, we'll see what they do because we could be looking at not a rebuild, but like a semi retooling
Yeah.
where they're going to trade one of their bigger pieces.
Which is still crazy to me.
Um,
The Cardinals
And
have
then
somehow
also-
got this resurgence.
Yeah, and the Cardinals, they're going to find a way to be competitive regardless, but they are looking at, Marcell Ozuna hitting free agency, and he has a large net of teams interested.
Yeah.
So they're not alone in wanting to retain him, obviously.
And the Reds are the Reds.
But look at, they're going to find another guy like Tommy Edman, came out of nowhere this year.
Yeah.
Like, that same type of player is going to be there next year for them.
Like I said, the Reds are the Reds. They're going to hang around.
the Reds are, we'll see what they do in free agency because they're rumored to be like a big player, but they've already lost out on the guy that was most rumored to them, is Monty Grandal.
Yeah.
But Didi Gregorius has been linked there. I know they're involved in the Zach Wheeler race.
If Didi would play third base, I'd be
So-
more than welcome to having him come.
Yeah, if you asked me to upgrade one position for the Pirates, I mean, I might go catcher still,
Oh,
but
yeah. I would go catcher first.
yeah, but like third base is a need, and the problem is like, do I feel like Brian Hayes is ready yet? The offense just hasn't been there. Like you want to see
Yeah.
him hit better at the AAA level before bringing him up,
Yeah.
but at the same time, so you really don't want to commit a huge contract with third baseman, which is why Didi Gregorius might make sense because coming off the year that he had
Being
and
hurt.
being hurt,
Yeah.
he might only command like a 1 or 2 year contract.
Yeah. And I've always thought Didi was underrated when he was in Arizona. And I like Colin Moran, don't get me wrong. He is a statue defensively.
Yeah, I mean, he is what he is.
He bats 280. I mean, I'd even be content with a platoon there, honestly.
What about if, going back to this possible trade candidates we've seen for the Pirates, the most common names that pop up are Marte, Bell, Keone Kela. There was 5 names on that list, I think.
I feel like Archer has to be on there.
Archer. And who would have been the other one?
I don't know. I didn't see the list.
It was just like some list that I was looking at on the score.
Yeah.
Unless there was only 4 names, but I think there was 5. Anyway, if that were to happen, maybe Moran would play at first base until we found like a long-term solution there. So somebody asked me what I thought about this. I mean, there is no one that threw this out there, as a potential trade.
Yeah.
But a trade with the Yankees with Josh Bell and Keone Kela for Miguel Andujar, Clint Frazier, and one of their top 5 prospects.
You want to talk about that bad defense? Andy Hart's bad.
Right, and that was what I said, and they said, well, what about a move to first? Because if Josh Bell were in the trade.
He's not that big.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Like, from my experience, from when I played, from watching people, you need a big guy at first base. Some of those throws, man, like having Cervelli at first when they did, I did not like that.
Yeah, and I was like, so in this hypothetical, obviously Marte is being traded as well in a separate deal
Yeah.
because otherwise you really don't have a need for another outfielder.
Which at least the one thing for me in a Marte trade is at least that opens the door to having somebody else come up, i.e. Jared, even though that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Unless he has a stellar spring training. I would imagine.
Well, look at the Mariners gave their prospect Evan White
Yeah.
a 6-year, $24 million deal,
Yeah.
and he didn't play in AAA last year.
Yeah.
So,
well, also that deal, like at least money wise, would average out if he becomes.
Polanco's also on this list.
Oh, well, that makes sense. If he just becomes an average first baseman, that deal's about right.
No, I mean, I love the deal. My point is that they're
The way
expecting
they
him
did
to
it.
be an MLB player next year,
Yeah.
and they've already paid him.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to start opening day, and he didn't play a game in AAA. So, I think that this might be, if they do go into full rebuild mode, Jared could definitely be a Pirate next year.
Exactly.
Not necessarily on opening day or anything,
Yeah.
but I think at some point during the season.
And I mean, if
I think that even though Brian Reynolds was
subpar
average
defensively
to
in center,
below average in center,
Yeah.
I think that he would be the opening day center fielder.
I would imagine. You would imagine Reagan Wright, unless he's moved or not healthy. I don't know if he's going to be healthy for the time of start of the season. I would imagine he is. I don't quite know who you would put in left.
He might not be on the roster. We
Yeah.
might be talking about like I saw
Bring
the
back Melky.
the Athletic talking about Cole Calhoun.
Yeah.
Or it could be a guy like Jason Martin, like somebody that was on the AAA.
I
roster
forgot
for a
about
lot
Jason
last
Martin.
year.
He would probably start in center because he's fast.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Completely forgot he was on the team.
I have his cleats.
Yes, you do, and they're very small.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. What does he wear? Like a 9?
9.5, I think.
Yeah.
It's like the size of my hand.
But we kind of talked about it. Once again, you weren't here, but like this Evan White deal kind of reminds me of, well, not fully because Ozzy Albies was already in the MLB, but like
Yeah.
these deals that are
that Ozzy Albies deal is a sweetheart deal.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and he's already was somewhat proven when he was given that deal.
Yeah,
But if you lock guys up like this, I think this is probably the way to start going
absolutely.
for teams because you're locking guys up at least an additional year or two past arbitration in most cases.
And probably saving yourself some amount of money in those years.
Yeah.
Especially with the arbitration, because what if Reynolds goes out there again and has another 330 average season?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be paying him a lot more.
Okay, so that leads me to my next point: is should the Pirates look into something like this
Oh yeah,
for Brian Reynolds
Absolutely.
if they haven't already?
So even with Sherrington as the GM, if you're coming into this job, you have to lock down Brian Reynolds, in my opinion. I want to say he's the future of the team, but he's definitely a big piece.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hit at every level he's been in ever. Defense, like you said, center field was average to below average. Left field, he was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I think that's where his home is in left field.
Yeah. So
Should be.
I think he should be the piece that's locked down on this team. Out of everybody on that field, he should be the one that you just staple to the board.
I agree, and I've never been ridiculously high on Josh Bell.
Yeah.
I think that he's one-dimensional. I don't think he brings anything to the field, and I think he's better suited to play in the American League.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm with you in thinking, and obviously, Marte's getting up there in age. Polanco is a walking question mark. I think that Brian Reynolds is the one guy on this team that, at least as of right now, I would say that's who you're building around.
Yeah.
Because, I like Kevin Newman, but I don't know that he's going to go out there again this year and do
Yeah,
that.
you don't know if it's
Where I think that
sustainable.
I give a better chance of Brian Reynolds going out there and having similar production next season.
Yeah.
If not better, because now he's a full off season,
Yeah.
and we'll see what the rest of the coaching staff.
Like I
looks
said,
and-
Reynolds has always hit above 280.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's been.
Wait till I buy his jersey.
Newman has been around 240, 235.
yeah, he had
245? Well, the whole
yeah,
thing
he
in the minors.
dropped like 20 pounds of weight and
Yeah, but even before that, he wasn't
yeah.
that stellar of a hitter.
Mhm.
You saw flashes of it every once in a while, but then that happened and he came up and it wasn't looking too great, But now that everything seems to be on a decent track for him, he's been better. And who knows, maybe it's a Bud Dupree thing.
Mm. Yeah, so getting back to the Brian Reynolds thing with Sherrington coming in, and they're obviously, the first thing's getting a manager, but at that point when they start really digging into this organization top to bottom in terms of the players that are currently in it,
Yeah.
I think that Brian Reynolds is a name that they're going to circle and say, yeah, this is the guy that we're building around.
They should. They absolutely should. And if you want to talk about winning, if you want to talk about having a good organization, it starts with one. It starts at the ground. I like the guy they hired for President Travis Williams. I almost called him Trevor. I like Sherrington, but
I think that we talked about it, though, where I think that the hire of Williams means them needing to bring in another role kind of going along with him because he doesn't have the baseball background.
So my understanding is Williams is running nothing but the business side.
Mm-hmm.
He's handling the deals, the TV deals, stuff like that, which they just signed one, but all the other business stuff.
Right.
Sherrington is specifically there to run baseball ops. So I agree there needs to be somebody else probably with Sherrington doing that. But that's my understanding of it, at least what I've gotten so far.
Okay, and then the last thing, were you looked up what quality control coach is?
Did you find anything?
I found an article that is talking about Derek Shelton.
Okay.
So it says
Specifically.
Yeah. When Toronto Blue Jays general manager Ross Atkins hired Derek Shelton as the American League's first quality control coach prior to the 2017 season, they were replacing the role of the assistant hitting coach. In his case, Shelton maintained more responsibility with the hitters as the primary focus, but also was tasked with establishing relationships between players, coaches, the front office, and the farm system to facilitate better communication throughout the organization. There's more to the title than the two words in it, Blue Jays general manager Ross Atkins added. He'll be impacting not only hitting, but collaborating with our defense and pitching and working with our analytics to help our players get better on an individual to individual level. Ben Nicholson of Sportsnet described the Blue Jays' hopes for Shelton. The Blue Jays envisioned him as someone who can help foster collaboration between departments, making sense of advanced reports with hitters, for example, or looking analytically at a struggling pitcher. For that to work, he must first build relationships with a wide range of people.
That was a lot.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Quality control is
No.
establishing relationships and stuff like that.
Basically,
between
the
departments and-
overseer of the entire organization.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I got from it, is that it's not just the major league level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
And it sounds like he's an analytics guy.
I'm going to preface this by saying it's a joke. Is there a possibility you don't have one manager and you have 2 assistant managers?
No.
Yeah. No.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Wow, okay, so there's a lot more entailed with that than I thought.
I know.
But he was also only there for 2017 and 2018.
Yeah. So basically, Vlad Jr.
Bo Bichette.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Boba Fett.
Kevin Biggio.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about him, too.
The
Damn.
other Gurriel.
Eh.
I mean, like I said, I don't either hire him to be fine with, at least on the surface. Obviously, they would not have managed a game yet, so
Yeah.
kind of hard to go based off anything.
I'm very interested to see how this next season goes. I'm very interested to see how they go as an organization, too.
I hope they trade everyone and lose 100 games.
By the way, I want to say this. I don't think I did on the podcast. I'm very impressed with Jeff pitching the entire season on a broken foot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
still
what a psychopath.
Still
He's still on
wheel-
that scooter.
wheeling around.
Scooter gang in the Bahamas or wherever the hell he is.
Gang.
Maniac.
He's in Barbados.
That's where he is. Maniac.
Anyway, yeah, going back to Ray Searage, there's probably not going to be a bigger beneficiary.
Literally.
to
No,
him leaving
literally.
them. Yeah.
Like, that thread you showed me was
Mhm.
everything I was already thinking. I just didn't have the math to back me up because I didn't look.
And then the last thing in baseball, Jose Abreu signed a 3-year, $50 million deal to stay with the White Sox. He had already accepted the qualifying offer,
Yeah.
so he's going to be back there for like $18 million.
So
But
is this a 4-year deal then, technically?
no, I think that it's
I think it
instead
cancels
of
out the
the
qualifying.
qualifying offer.
Okay.
But yeah, moving to hockey, where the Penguins are going to lose tonight.
Because I'm there.
So the Penguins have been pretty consistently getting to overtime, getting a point.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, they can't beat the Islanders for some reason.
It's kind of funny.
They've come the closest to beating the Islanders during this Islanders ridiculous stretch.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. In a week.
But they just can't close it out. Like this last time, they're up by 2 goals with 5 minutes left, and they just pretty much go into a shell, just stay in their defensive zone, ice the puck, repeat, Islanders score, end up tying the game, go to overtime, Islanders possess the puck pretty much the entire
That-
time.
Dude.
I never envisioned 3-on-3 looking the way that it has, at least when they play the Islanders, because the Islanders just completely bore it down.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, give me 4-on-4 again,
Anything.
because it's just so stupid. The teams purposely coming out of their own offensive zone just to reset.
That is stupid.
Yeah.
That is very stupid. Very rarely do the Penguins do that, but
Mhm.
it does happen. Barry Trotz is a great coach, but sucks for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely sucks.
But yeah, at the same time, it's like, why would he care? Like his
Exactly.
job isn't
It's
to.
to win.
He's not
Yeah.
paid to entertain.
Yeah, it's to
he's
win.
paid to win.
It's like running a trap. You're probably going to win if you get a lead.
Mhm.
My voice cracked super hard there.
Yeah.
But it sucks to watch. But so the Penguins with the consistently going to overtime thing. Have you seen like all the charts and everything?
In terms of what?
Like team play.
Yeah. Okay, like.
So like they're doing everything right.
Mhm.
They just can't buy a goal for shit. There it is.
Although I feel like that started to change.
It has. That Leafs game is where it kind of
Yeah.
picked up. Murray's been below average this month.
Yes.
That overtime against the Islanders, the last time they played them,
yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea. It was bad. The defense has been very good, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of the same thing, like where Murray gave up the one very weak goal where the puck just was pretty much sitting behind him. Brock Nelson was the first one to it.
Oh.
Push it past him the first overtime game. The second one where he goes through Pedersen's legs pretty much as well and goes around Murray. But I mean, I don't know. I see people saying that he has no idea where that puck is. That's Pedersen's fault, not Murray's. But Murray, you would think would be quicker to get across.
Exactly.
I
don't know why he was so far out.
Yeah, he has like a below 90 save percentage this month.
Yeah.
And still long term, I'm a Matt Murray believer.
Oh, absolutely.
But the last two conversations that I've had with people, both being Beefy and my dad, were, I think in the short term, Tristan Jarry's earned more starts.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's better for both.
Yeah.
Because if you're taking the workload off Murray, I think, getting more rest.
Yeah.
And also, Matt Murray looked his best when he has somebody breathing down his neck.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So,
I mean, like,
I don't think it's a bad thing for Tristan Jarry to start more games.
and even last season, he was still a top 10 goalie, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, for most of the season, he had looked very good.
Yeah, my favorite thing is when the team's losing, like, goes on a 5-game losing streak or whatever it may be, and the defense looks bad, and Murray's facing 45 shots a game, like last season. People like to blame Murray. It's like, well, no, he is doing what he can, but the team didn't look good in front of him all of last year, pretty much, in my opinion. There were a few months where they were decent, pretty good, actually. But the point still stands. So far this season, the defense hasn't looked bad in front of them. They've had their games, obviously, as they will. But, like, I don't know how this conversation's still a thing, that people are, like, over Murray.
Because people don't like him.
Why? Because he doesn't smile and laugh?
So
Because he took someone's spot that they liked and they just want him out.
Suck my dick.
here's the thing with, I don't even want to continue to compare the two because it's
Yeah.
over. They're both very good goalies.
Yeah.
One makes double the amount of money and is about a decade older.
Yep.
So, but the thing is, up until this year where the Penguins defense has looked very good, they've been widely considered a below average group.
Very bad.
So if you are looking at that group playing in front of him, if you put Marc-Andre Fleury behind that defense, you're probably getting the same result.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people think that it would be any better with, if Murray, as you mentioned last year, very similar numbers to Fleury in Vegas while playing behind a worse defensive unit.
Yeah. Also, two things. One, it's like people forget.
We're just going to leave it.
It's like people forget the years of 2010 through 2013, 14 even, for Fleury.
Well, yeah, but I think that goes back to, once again, looking at the defensive unit in front of him.
Yeah.
Because I think it was atrocious.
Yeah.
I think that the best, I mean, it should go without saying because they won the cups, but like the first cup specifically out of the back-to-backs
Oh, yeah, yeah.
was their best defensive unit they've had
By far and away.
in a long time.
I don't know how they won the second cup with Ron Hainsey on the top pairing. I
Yeah.
have zero clue.
And without Chris Letang.
That was dumb. That was just dumb.
They shouldn't have won that cup.
Oh, absolutely.
They shouldn't have.
No way. I mean,
The Islanders their way to a cup.
Except
They
they
just
actually
had
did
really
it.
good luck.
yeah, yeah. I forgot my second point, by the way.
Speaking of luck, I looked up PDO for the team.
You got a grip?
I know that we have two guys shooting over 20%, which is
Oh,
better than last year.
So I looked up PDO for the team. The most average player on the team is Nick Bukestad.
sad.
But I was curious what Galchenyuk's was, and his is 97.9, which, for those who don't know, 100 is average. You're not lucky or unlucky. You're just kind of there.
That's kind of not good.
But his is 97.9. Crosby's is actually 97.2. But he's just too good to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
Schultz is below that at 96.1, and Teddy Bluger is the lowest with 95.6.
Okay, that kind of makes me sad. So Schultz has looked bad.
Samoan's right above Galchenyuk. And Pedersen's right below Galchenyuk.
So Schultz has looked bad.
Yeah, and now he's hurt, which I don't want him to be hurt because I still think he'd be an upgrade over like Zach Trotman, who's right now their sixth defenseman.
Absolutely. Question. Is Chad Ruedel in the lineup?
No.
Why?
It's because Letang is a game time decision tonight, and it looks like he's going to play because he's been on the parity and also on the first power play unit. So Letang
I
and
didn't know
Dumoulin. And then
he's
they
gonna
had,
I think they said on the radio he's going to play probably.
they had Pedersen, and
Please, Marino.
Pedersen was with Trotman because Johnson was with Marino.
Okay. That pairing has not been bad.
Jack Johnson, by the way, 103.7.
Holy hell.
Hmm.
Just go back to the podcast from the past year and just clip everything I've ever said bad about him.
Chad Ruedel.
Well,
Which-
I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I'm not saying anything good either. I just think he's been kind of there, which is fine.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Chad Riedel in 2 games, 115.4. Although Jared McCann, he's played 21 games and he's at 110.3.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the two that's shooting over 20% this year. So,
Is the other Cahoon?
no, Rust.
So what you're telling me is Chad Ruedel is way overshooting what he should be. Like as a player.
As a player, yeah, in 2 games, he's very lucky.
Let's throw him in there. Let's keep it going.
I think it's so funny that they have a stat for luck.
Oh, yeah. They also now have a war, essentially. Do you see that?
Because, I mean, as with anything, it's a law of averages. Like, if you're shooting, like, look at what year was it, 2017 for William Carlson?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
year they won the where they
Won the
went to
Western
the cup.
Conference. Yeah, their first
Yeah, what was he
season.
shooting, like 35% pretty much for the entire season?
Yeah.
It was damn near 40.
I mean, he scored 40 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now look at the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, is a pretty telling stat. Like, everything averages out to where it should be.
I can't remember who it was. It was an Islanders player, I think. It was one of the Strome brothers they were talking about. Somebody tweeted a graph of, like, the GM should sell high on, I think it was Dylan Strome, because he's shooting a lot higher than he should be, and he hasn't been that great, actually. And they're like, he's been some player, I can't remember who it was like, he's been our best player all year. That's why these sheets don't matter. And I'm like, oh, buddy, just wait till it crashes.
Was that this year?
That was like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's only 5 players that have a Corsi below 50. Corsi percentage below 50.
Wow. Who?
Joseph Landisi,
Wow.
Chad Ruedel, Adam Johnson, Erica Branson, Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson is at 49.
Okay, so it's Jack Johnson and non-regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 49, like, after Jack Johnson, it drops down to 45, then 43.
I don't know how we managed to get Eric Goodbranson to make. No, that was the long con. We got Eric Goodbranson to make Jack Johnson look better, and then got rid of Eric Goodbranson.
Yeah. Well,
But-
they were like, "There's no way getting out of this Johnson."
Big
deal,
brain.
so-
Go figure our top defensive pair is the highest on the team. Well, I'm not counting Zach Trotman. He's played 1 game.
What about Marino?
Marino is...
I might get his jersey.
He's 54. But Dumoulin and Letang are 58.4 and 58.1. Then after them is Sid.
I cannot
57.9.
I cannot believe they got Marino for a 6th round pick.
The 2 Doms are below Sid, and they have the exact same Corsi.
The Doms.
The Doms and Horny line.
57.2.
That was my favorite quote of all time.
Yeah. So okay, Bukestad's out 8 weeks.
Oh,
Schultz is
wow.
out longer term. Letang could be back tonight. What we're rolling with right now, the lines have actually been pretty. Like the Gensel Russ Malkin line has looked very good.
Yes.
I don't even want to say the line.
Horny and the Doms.
Yeah, has looked
Doms
very
and the
good.
Horny.
Has looked very good as well, even without having a center.
Yeah.
Horny between 2 Doms. Or no.
Well, didn't Simone
Nope,
play center in the
that's wrong.
minors?
Very little.
I was going to
I
say.
mean, they transitioned him pretty early, but
Yeah.
like that essentially would be like Jake playing center. You just wouldn't see it, and it's just weird to me because they have 2 centers in Lafferty and Bluter playing on the 4th line. I thought one of those would just play the 3rd, but I mean,
The chemistry's
it's-
there.
It's worked out. So, yeah, and I saw there was, so I don't know if this was a change because I can't remember. Even though I was at the game, I don't remember how they finished last game as far as lines.
I
But
don't either.
the Penn's workflow from Penn's Inside Scoop. Denzel Malkin Rust, of course. Dowchennik, McCann, Tanev. Was Tanev with those?
He was on Friday.
Okay. And then Simone, Cahoon, and Hornquist, and then Bluter, Aston, Reese, Lafferty.
Interesting.
And then the defense, as I mentioned, Dumoulin, Letang, Johnson, Marino, Pedersen, Trotman.
I want Galchenyuk to score a goal.
Came close on Friday. It's come close multiple times, but
that trade has not worked out for either team right now. Kessel's having a very bad year
I mean,
so far.
yeah, like I don't know if I was really expecting him to have a very good year.
Well, I
like,
mean, I don't even think he has like 8 goals.
I think he has 4.
He has 4.
Yeah.
He's got.
And we're a quarter of the way through the season.
He has 4, and he has like I think 15 points.
Wow. That's
Galchenyuk has like 8 or 9 points or something like
is
that.
that just like the symptom of the way the Coyotes play hockey? Because like last year they barely scored and still almost made the playoffs, and they're probably gonna make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they're not a. I mean, their highest score last year had like 50 points, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, but this year he's 5th on the team in points,
Oh, wow.
which I mean he's behind 2 defensemen at least. 2 defensemen.
Well, OEL for sure.
OEL and Goligoski.
Oh no, he's only just 1 defenseman, just Dolgoski. OEL's not up there. He only has 9
Wow.
points in 25
Oh
games.
wait, he got hurt.
Wow, he's trash.
I mean, he has as many games played as everybody else.
Oh, really?
25. Yeah.
I thought he
Trade
hurt.
him.
Yeah.
Schmaltz leads the team in points with 19,
Wow.
and then Garland, Dolgoski, and
He
Keller have
gets
14.
Where's he Nostroza?
Huh?
Where's he? Where's he Nostroza?
9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists, 25 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are a case study, man. That is such a strange team.
Yeah, they're 2nd in the Pacific right now.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm shocked because I'm absolutely not. I was the one saying they would make the playoffs last year, and they could have.
No, that division is Edmonton, Arizona, Vancouver.
The,
3 right now.
dude, the West is so bad. The West is horrible.
And then the other, I mean, other than like maybe the Stars, but you could still say they were like a borderline wildcard team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the Blues and Jets there right
Yeah.
now. So
That division, that whole conference is the Avalanches to win.
and the Predators were on a 6-game losing streak.
What a fall from grace they had.
I'm curious, so I looked up shots this season for the Penguins. There are 13 players ahead of Galchenyuk that have taken more shots.
Wow.
Jake, Letang, Schultz, Crosby, Malkin, Zach Aston Reese, Hornquist, Dominic Simone, Jared McCann, Dominic Cahoon, Brian Russ, Brandon Tanev, Teddy Bluger.
Why have Bluter, Aston Reese? I don't remember who else you said that like would have thrown me off. Why have they taken more shots?
It honestly seems like
Well,
Gauch's a
Galchenyuk
little
was there
scared
for a
to
little
shoot.
bit, but also yeah, watching him too. Like even if you're looking at a per game basis, I would,
Marino is only 2 behind him.
if you're looking at shots per game basis, I would still think he wouldn't be as high up as he should be because that's
No.
what I mean. That's what he's
Yeah.
here for, is to shoot the puck.
He's also a lot bigger than I thought he was.
He's been a better playmaker than I thought he was, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of like for me when Kessel first got here, wasn't necessarily scoring like at the pace that people thought he would. Like when we traded for him, everybody's like he's a 40 or 50 goal scorer,
Yeah.
but he's a better passer than I anticipated.
Yeah. And I mean, that. To be fair, that is kind of the way you have to play when you're playing with one of Malkin and Crosby. You know?
Yeah, but he's also, I mean, he's played a couple games on the 4th line.
Yeah.
He's kind of been all over the lineup,
Maybe he should be on the 3rd line,
trying to get him going.
honestly. Like when Jugs comes back, that might not be a bad pairing.
Yeah, well, we're about like 2 months away from that,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I mean, that's when the team turns it on anyway.
Also, guess how many hits Brandon Tanev has?
He leads the lead, right?
Please tell me it's like
Does he lead the
115.
league? I don't know.
I think-
I'm just looking at the team stats.
Please tell me it's up over 100 already.
No.
Is it? I'm gonna guess 70.
But number 2 is Zach Aston Reese. He has 51.
Oh, it's got to be like 78.
75.
Damn.
Oh, we we got the leaders in stats that people shouldn't care about. Brian Dumoulin leads the league in plus minus.
Awesome.
Where do I find
What about Pims?
drawn penalties? Is that a stat?
It absolutely is. I don't know where you can find it. But yeah, I just learned there's like a WAR metric for the NHL now. GAR.
Yeah, I've seen that before, but too complicated.
Oh yeah.
I'll trust other people.
Well,
to
the
figure it out.
Penguins as a team are like top 3, which is kind of impressive with how hurt they've been.
In
So,
Jesse Marshall, we trust.
literally.
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to find drawn penalties.
Brandon Tanner's been
Oh,
very good
yeah.
at drawing penalties.
And the Penguins have also been taking more penalties for some reason lately. They were like league best in not taking them. Now they're averaging like
They
2 or
were
3
the
per
Lady
game.
Bing of teams.
They're
Yeah.
also the number 2 penalty kill. I don't know if they are now.
Wow.
Yeah, now they've given up one in back-to-back. So
Well, I was gonna say that means they're gonna let up 3 tonight.
Although Cowdery, what is going on with them? Like, Gaudreau's name's been floated out there, but their owner's saying they're not doing it.
You want to talk about a team that probably needs a rebuild because nothing can go
Is
right.
Gaudreau going to the Flyers?
Fuck.
That's where he wants to play.
Really?
He said at some point in his career he'd like to skate for his hometown team.
He's from Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck him.
But, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They're in such like a weird spot too because they have talent.
And they have Hannafin and Lindholm.
They made a terrible decision on the
Lucic.
Neil for Lucic deal.
I mean, Neil wasn't going to work out there.
Yeah,
but
right. But that's not the deal that you
exactly,
make.
Yeah.
Like you don't take on Lucic because Neil's not working out there.
You do what the Penguins do with good brands, and you take some minor leaguer and cap dump. You know.
Yeah, whatever you have to do to get him out of there, but also not bring in an even worse player in.
Yeah.
I just said in a worse player in.
Bring in the worst player in.
But yeah, so they come to PPG tonight. We'll see how that goes. As far as the goaltending situation, we kind of touched on it. The fact that Murray has not been very good this month. Jari in limited. I mean, he's only started 5 games. He's played 6.
Oh yeah.
So he came into the Boston game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that he needs more time, and I think both would be a benefit of it.
So remember when Murray first came up, and that was when everybody was like, "Ooh, Tristan Jari might actually be good," and then Matt Murray just leapfrogged him.
Yeah.
By like a lot. I wonder if that's starting to come around, if that makes sense. And if that's the case, that's a great problem.
Yeah. But it is a problem because you have Matt Murray's a free agent this year.
I think Jari's deal is up too.
Yeah, they both are, yeah.
So let's do this. Hopefully, Matt Murray plays average. Hopefully, Tristan Jari plays well. You trade Jack Johnson, you pay both of them.
But how much should you pay 2 goalies?
Well, if he plays average, not a lot. You know? A league average goalie probably makes no more than 3.5.
But I still think even if he were to play average, another team would pay him.
Oh yeah.
More than that because of the resume.
Agreed.
So I just don't.
They
think
have to offer sheet him?
Don't think that would work.
Yes.
Because isn't he a UFA or RFA?
He's an RFA.
Yeah, so I'm saying a team would offer sheet him then more.
I mean, I love Matt Murray. I think he should be the goalie for the next 10 years, if need be, or if he wants to. But I also like Tristan Jari. And honestly, whichever one you pick, I have no issue with. If it
I like
backfires,
whoever's
it
going to
backfires.
lead to the Penguins to more success. That's
enough.
what I'm saying. Like, I don't attach a name to that because, like, I like both of them as well.
Yeah.
But whatever one's going to be the better option, I'm not going to say I want Matt Murray to be the goalie if Tristan Jari is going to be better.
Completely agreed. If you make the wrong decision, it happens. Look at the Pirates. They make one trade and everybody gets canned.
Talk about wrong decisions.
Yeah.
And then last thing to touch on in hockey doesn't have anything to do with the Penguins. Mike Babcock was fired.
Oh, have you seen what came out yesterday?
Yeah. So that's Mitch Marner. Is that Mitch Marner?
That was Mitch Marner. Could you imagine? Do you think he actually got paid because he didn't want to play for Mike Babcock?
I mean, I think he's getting paid regardless.
Well, apparently the notion is he asked for a lot more because he didn't want to play for Babcock. Could you imagine if they just fired him in the offseason and saved like $2 million?
I would have said, give me the money still.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have too. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, my question is, how did he last that long if that was like, if people knew about that?
I don't think people did.
Well,
not many
but
people.
how does it come? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how does it come out like immediately he's fired?
Well, Dom Lucic said he knew who it was, but he didn't want to put it out there because he didn't know like what would happen, which makes zero sense to me.
I'm not even talking about knowing the knowledge of what player it was.
Yeah.
Like knowing that situation happened.
Exactly.
How does he last that long?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, probably not a whole lot of people knew. I feel like that was probably like a...
It should only take one person.
Exactly, yeah. But, well, I mean, that's a long story of, not whistleblowers, but, you know, people respecting. But I just like watching them. You knew they didn't want to play for him. You know, like watching that whole when they played the Penguins, they did not want to be on the ice.
That was
They
a
did-
great game.
It was a great game for the Penguins. Did you see my tweet before that game? Because that was Kasky Swo's first game.
Yeah.
Also, anybody that says Kasky Swo needs punched. I said it's either going to be like a 50-shot shutout for Kasky Swo or he's going to get murdered. And he got murdered.
Yeah.
He got shelled.
Yeah.
His parents were in the building too. They showed him on the
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah, but the Leafs the past 2 games are back to looking like the world eaters they should be. They still have their issues defensively because they basically play with, 5 forwards out there at times. Goaltending needs to be better for them as well. Freddie's not been good. Well, he's been good, but not great. And Marner's hurt. So
I think the bigger question isn't about the Leafs. I think it's because not knowing the situation that happened with Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
I said about Babcock
hurt.
My bad.
potentially a reunion with the Red Wings, and now is he gonna get another coaching job?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about the list, right? When you talk about Marner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nazem Kadri.
Yeah. And from my understanding, apparently a lot now, like people are now realizing how annoying Mike Babcock is as a coach, like how arrogant he is.
Honestly, I've always felt like he was a little overrated.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at the teams that he coached.
Yeah.
He has many cups as Dan Bylsma.
But at the same time, you don't luck your way into like 900 wins or whatever he has. You know?
But I'm saying, look at the.
I
my
agree.
point
I
is-
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My point is, how many people coach the teams that he's had, and have that much worse of records? Like we're talking marginal,
Yeah.
if anything.
Yeah. Completely agreed. I'm sure somebody will be willing to give him a job. I have a bad feeling it's going to be Seattle.
Mm.
But we will see.
I don't think he'd take the Seattle job.
Really?
Mm-mm. It's not established. I just don't think he'd take it.
That'd be the greatest quote from him. If it's not like, we don't know how they're going to be.
I would just say, look at Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same rules. Same expansion rules. They're probably going to end up with a better team, actually.
Is that your?
That's my
bold-
guess.
Is that your bold prediction?
Yes, absolutely.
They're actually going to win the cup the first year.
Yeah.
Who knows? They may end up with Murray. They may end up with Jari. We
Yeah,
may
isn't
lose
the-
both.
Isn't the expansion draft after
Oh.
this season?
Yes, we may lose both.
Because that's not something we've talked about. that there's an expansion draft.
No. That may actually happen.
So you'd have to protect one of the goalies.
And you would imagine you protect Murray.
Yeah.
And then if he decides to sign an offer sheet that you can't match. Oh God.
Casey the Smith season.
Oh boy, I don't want to think about that now.
What do the centers want for Gustafsson?
Who's that? Who's the dude in Wilkes-Barre? Lemmy?
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name. It's super short. He's super funny. You ever seen him on Twitter?
I know who you're talking. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know about his
Emil.
press
I think his name's Emil something.
Mill or Lemmy or something like that.
I don't even know if you're saying anything.
Emil Larmy.
Mm.
Emil Larmy. Yeah.
Apparently he's pretty good.
Good. We may need him.
Let's check out his stats this season.
So, is there any more hockey?
No. But I guess we're looking at his stats this season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
just for fun. Elite prospect.
Because I'm excited about this next topic.
Football?
Yes.
You're excited about football?
Oh yeah.
Shut it down.
Pat McAfee
Let's
season.
see.
He needs to pump the brakes.
What a ridiculous weekend.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Having a rough season.
Love the man. Oh. What's it looking like?
882
Woof.
and 405.
Woof.
The last year in his
Wilkes-Barre must stink.
last year in
Well.
his Swedish league.
We're taking all their players up here.
Last year in his Swedish league, he had a 909 and a 194. Not Swedish league.
That's still- I mean-
Finnish league.
Yeah, and that probably is pretty high for that league.
Let me look up Casey DeSmith and see how much different it is.
Hopefully he's not getting shit on.
Apparently he's pretty he was pretty upset that he was gone down there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the only well now they could bring him up because they have cap room, but they sent him down because they didn't have cap room.
I mean, Jari's been justifying it being him.
Smith has a 920 and a 248 save percentage.
Oh.
Or 920 save percentage, 248 goals against.
Say if he had 248 save percentage, he's
Hey, Seattle.
Yeah.
Here.
He got a 920 save percentage. So he's still doing good.
Yeah. So Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Okay, football.
Incredible weekend for him. He needs to pump the brakes on Duck.
Oh, well, yeah.
He
I think
needs
everybody
to
needs
pump
to.
the brakes.
So, I mean, that's the biggest topic, I think, for us, at least, is the switch to Doug Hodges yesterday during the game, which I've been very adamant that I didn't think it would make a difference. And, I mean, still looking at it big picture, I'm not sure that's going to.
Yeah.
If you take away you can't just take away things, but if you take away the 79-yard touchdown to Washington, which a lot of that was after he had already caught the ball, Hodges was 4 of 10 for 39 yards. Yeah. So you're not going to win. You're not going to win games like that with that quarterback play. I think the only thing that he does better is he gets out of the pocket. I think he's able to extend plays, whereas Mason just kind of stands there, and once people are in his face, that's it. He's not moving out of the pocket.
So I was like you, and I completely agree with you. The difference for me that I've noticed, I hate Mason's decision making. Sometimes it's just like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
I think that a lot of the time, well, there's sometimes where he just doesn't throw the ball to an open guy, which I think that's just not trusting himself.
Yeah.
But when he is throwing it to a guy, it seems like it's like a second too late.
Yeah.
He has Tevin Jones open for a touchdown yesterday on that third down that they end up kicking a field goal. But he throws it too late, and the guy's able to recover and make a play on the ball.
But there are times where he gets wrapped up, and instead of just taking the sack, he'll
yeah.
just spike the
He
ball.
pretty
It's
much-
like, what the hell are you doing?
He could get called for grounding more than anybody else in the league, I think.
Like,
But as far as Hodge goes and needing to pump the brakes, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people just get wrapped up in the idea of him and not what
He's
he
a
actually
meme.
brings to the table.
I mean, look at our tweet.
It's a meme.
Look at our tweet.
It's
still going.
I don't think either of them are that good.
I agree.
I just
And
think it's just a meme.
And I think it's the worst
He's
possible
He's
thing
more
for the Steelers.
likable. That's why.
So
That's why people want him as there, is because they like him better. I don't think they really think he's that much of a better quarterback.
So here's the thing I will say, and I'm probably very much wrong in saying it, even though it's just from what I've seen. Hodges has made a lot better throws, in my opinion.
I think that his ball looks better coming out. Like, I don't know what Mason's thing. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of velocity in his football.
That's
going back to college.
Yeah.
But he's always been able to throw the deep ball.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like the balls
It's filled with helium.
can even get there.
It's just
The
floating.
Ryan Finley's touchdown yesterday to Tyler Boyd was awful.
Yes.
Like a duck.
Pun intended.
No pun intended. But a lot of Mason's throws look like that too. Like
Yeah.
you're just wondering how's it. That's not even gonna get there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. Where the ball comes out of Mason's hands, it's like, oh, well, that's somehow still in the air. Oh, it got picked off. Okay,
But
know?
as far as the Steelers go, I mean, in my opinion, yeah, they're in the race right now, which is great and everything.
Insane.
This is the worst possible thing that could happen for the Steelers. Which I mean might sound weird saying, but I really don't know about this game Sunday against Cleveland because Cleveland's starting to put it all together. I
David
mean,
Njoku was a bigger piece than I thought for that team.
if I were taking a guess right now, I'm going to say that Hodges is the starter on Sunday. I think it should be an open competition between those two. Paxton Lynch does not need to be involved. Paul Zeiss.
No.
Um,
Paxton Lynch
but-
gets shot to Mars. That's about it.
But and then it's just the worst possible scenario because if the Steelers had another loss or two and we were able to pretty much already throw away the season, you could just let Mason ride it out, see what you have in him, see what he does with the rest of the season.
Exactly.
But because the Steelers are still in a position,
They're trying to win.
and and rightfully so, you have to, justify that to the defense. It's not fair to this defense to throw away the season.
If TJ Watt got hurt yesterday, I was ready to throw the season in right there.
Yeah. Thank God. But they're in a weird spot because you're still trying to win every single game, and at the same time see if you have something.
And this defense gives
Past
you the
Ben.
ability to win the game.
yeah, I mean, all you really need from your quarterback is them to not lose games.
Yeah.
I mean, you need a game manager. I think that, like an Alex Smith with the Chiefs, what he was able to do there is probably the best example of what you need from your quarterback right now.
And I don't think Rudolph or Hodges is that. Like I said, I think they're perennial backups. I mean, just like the difference 2 weeks can make. 2 weeks ago, it was like, oh, this team actually has a chance. And then the Browns game happens. It goes, oh, man, this offense is bad.
Yeah. And, I mean, hopefully you have Juju back against the Browns. I'm not expecting Connor back, so I'm not going to say his name. But, and, Snell almost had 100 yards rushing yesterday anyway.
Bengals going back to Dalton.
Oh, wow. Why? Maybe A.J. Green gets activated now.
Ooh.
But for me, it's just it now raises more questions. Even though with a win yesterday with Mason Rudolph being benched, is quarterback now in the draft cards? Because before I would have said no. I mean, you go into next season hoping Ben's healthy.
Oh yeah.
If for some reason that elbow's not where it should be, not better than ever, like I'm expecting, then it's, Rudolph for another year and maybe you draft one after that. But this year, you're really hoping to not have to draft a quarterback. And now, is it maybe in the realm of possibility that they do?
I don't know who they're drafting. I mean, I've said it before. I don't like this quarterback class after the top 3.
I don't even know if I like the top 3. I like.
I mean, I've openly said my favorite quarterback's Herbert.
Over Burrow.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Joe Burrow is my number 1, and I don't even know who my number 2 is. Like, I mean, Herbert to me is a first rounder, and Tua, if healthy, would be a first rounder. But I think that there's a lot more. I mean, there's to be a question mark with pretty much whoever you pick. Nothing's a slam dunk, really, besides Chase Young.
Oh, can't wait till he's just like torturing Ben next year.
Well, we were having that conversation if the Bengals should go with him or a quarterback. Because, I mean, they're in the driver's seat for the first overall pick. They have 2 games on everybody else.
Yeah. There is, at least in my opinion, this year, there's no reason anybody needs picked over Chase Young.
Well, that's what I was saying. It was because if they go with a quarterback this year, there's not, I mean, I can't look ahead to the future, but I don't think there's to be another player that's, above everybody else the way that I see Chase Young above everybody else next year.
Agreed.
So you take Chase Young this year, even if that means
sucking
once again, not being good next year because you don't have a
Trevor
quarterback.
Lawrence.
And then you take the quarterback the following year.
Yeah. Also, I've seen not a lot, but I've seen a good bit of writers, but not like established writers, saying they've talked to NFL scouts and that they don't think Tua's going day 1 now.
I mean, yeah, and if he doesn't, that's another question. What if he's there somehow for the Steelers in round 2? Round 2.
Oh, show's over.
No, but going back to the thing that you said about Lawrence too, he's all of a sudden not been that great this year.
Yeah,
and there's more questions surrounding him than there were before going into this year. Now he's another year to even.
Well, after the North Carolina game, he's been amazing.
Yeah. But still, I think going into this season, there was pretty much no question about him. Then at the beginning of the season, all of a sudden people have some questions about him. He's silenced that to an extent, but I haven't seen his name pop up as much as I figured I would have at this point in the season. Like, he's not really in the Heisman talks.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah.
Who's got the lead on that, you think?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, but, a quarterback's going to win it pretty much every single season. But if Chase Young would have missed those 2 games, I think it would have been interesting. I think he still has a case, but
wouldn't that be funny if a defensive end wins the Heisman?
Yeah. I mean, because it's not even, to me, it's not even close. Like, whoever's the second best player in college football, so be it. But I don't think there's a question as to who number 1 is.
I agree. At least from what I've seen, I completely.
And the 2 games that he missed were cupcake games. I probably would have had like 6 combined sacks those 2 games.
I was going to say.
And you already have 22.5.
He should be a Heisman finalist.
So him, Burrow, and who else?
shit. I don't know.
Jonathan Taylor.
I don't really care because they're pretty much irrelevant. Once Tua got hurt, it's like, all right, we have to pick somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts was in the conversation for
A little bit, but
I mean,
he fell
Justin
off.
Fields, but
2 from the same team.
Dude, I hated watching that Ohio State-Penn State game.
why?
All the QB runs. All of them.
No, I hated watching it because Penn State should have been nowhere near that game.
That too.
Although I loved it because they covered.
That shouldn't even count as covering.
When you have money on the game, it was like I don't want them to come back, but I also want them to lose by less than 19.
That's the thing is, I never even felt like they had a chance of coming back. It was like, there's no way Ohio State is going to continue to fumble, and that's the only way Penn State stands a chance.
Yeah. Penn State's defense isn't that bad, but that offense sucks.
Their run defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Their pass defense isn't even that bad, but they're small. Like their entire
Yeah.
secondary small, and there's not a wide receiver under 6 foot for Ohio State. So
Oh.
yeah.
Jeez.
Well, out of their main guys.
Yeah.
Pouncey had a suspension reduced.
2 games, so he's
2
out next
games.
week.
So I mean, I feel like that was honestly the plan the entire time. We'll give him 3 games.
Yeah.
When he appeals it, we'll reduce it, but he's still gonna have to miss the Browns game.
Yeah. Which is understandable, in my opinion.
I mean, we said
if he plays that
week
game, he
before.
probably murders somebody on the field. If
we
we're
said the
being
week
honest.
before it should be 2 games.
Yeah.
And
agree
I
with
said
that.
Mason should have gotten 1.
The rest
but-
is after this week, he probably should be gone forever. But
But imagine if he would have been suspended. We would have had Hodges that whole game. But
that would have been interesting.
you don't have the visual evidence of how bad Mason was.
Yeah.
So they might have turned right back to Mason against Cleveland again.
Yeah. Finney started for Pouncey.
Yeah.
How bad was that?
The offensive line. I mean, I don't
The
know
offensive line is.
individually. I don't know individually how bad it was. Filer's been pretty solid all year.
Yeah.
I mean, DeCastro's been pretty good, except for when he went against Aaron Donald.
At least in my eyes, Villanueva's had a bad year.
Villanueva's, yeah, I mean, see, he also plays the toughest position on the offensive line, but yeah, he's been at no better than average this year.
Yeah.
Ramon Foster's been pretty bad in my opinion when he's out there.
Wasn't he also
I
hurt?
also said, yeah, I mean, he had concussion for a couple weeks.
Oh.
I actually was an advocate for Finney just replacing him. And then Pouncey's, I mean, obviously very good, but he didn't play last game. So it's just weird and I think that the biggest thing is teams not respecting the pass game. So they're loading up the box and bringing more guys in pressure.
Yeah.
You only have 5 guys on the offensive line. If people are rushing 7, 8 guys, how are you supposed to block these guys?
Yeah. Now, here's another thing about the pass game, too, that I think is going to be interesting when Juju comes back. I feel like Deontay Johnson should be a bigger target.
James Washington's looked at I feel like they have, when Juju comes back, good weapons, honestly. Like, even Deion Kane, to me, is they can run the play that they've been trying all year with Johnny Holton, but do it with Deion Kane.
Yeah. Johnny Holton just couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he should have drawn a couple more pass interferences that just weren't called. But yeah, like he was never really in that. That could be on the quarterback too. But
to me, Deion Kane looks good.
I've always been. I mean, he played at Clemson, so obviously he played at a big school. I knew who he was. But yeah, I think him as the number 4 option when Juju comes back is pretty good.
Absolutely.
He's only going to get better as he continues to work with whatever quarterback it might be.
Deontay Johnson's been very good at getting open all season.
Yeah, he's already one of the better route runners. He's the best route runner on the team already, and he's one of the better in the league, and he's just going to continue to get better.
Yeah, and Juju is Juju. He can moss you whenever he wants, really, as long as he holds on to the ball.
Yeah, and then Washington, I mean, he's taken strides all season. These last,
I would be very.
I mean, the Cleveland game wasn't that great, but
yeah,
you pretty much throw that away because of how bad Mason was.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the 2 games prior, and then this past week, he's had either 6 catches or 90 yards.
Imagine if this team had a quarterback. Imagine if Ben didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Arguably
That's what's so frustrating about it, because you have this defense now. If you would have given this defense to the offenses of literally any year prior to this year, you're a contender.
Yeah.
And imagine if you would have given one of those teams' defenses to this offense. We would probably be picking the top 5.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you put Morgan Burnett and Mike Mitchell on the same team,
We probably we might beat Miami, and we'd probably split with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know where we're buying a win.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, so if I remember right, Ben actually got hurt during the
I don't know
Patriots game?
exactly when he got hurt because I mean,
They said there were reports that he told Mason that his elbow hurt after the game.
yeah,
And then it happened during the second game, right?
yeah,
So imagine if he's fully healthy. You probably still lose the Patriots game.
yes.
You probably beat the 49ers.
Seattle was very winnable too, though.
Yeah, you probably beat the Seahawks. You probably beat the 49ers.
Even if you give them one of those two,
Yeah. Who was week 2?
Seattle was week 2, San Fran was week 3,
Week 4 was...
Cincinnati,
Yeah, I was there.
Ravens.
That was winnable too.
Yeah, the Ravens was. I mean, if Juju doesn't fumble, who knows how that drive in overtime goes?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this team's probably like... What week is it? 12?
just played week 12,
Probably 11-2? Or, excuse me.
10-2.
Yeah. Bye. 9-2. Wait. Yeah, 9-2.
Yeah.
I don't know why 11 was in my mind.
Yeah, you weren't beating New England regardless of if Ben was fully healthy.
Yeah.
At the time,
they're-
you didn't have Minka either.
And their offense was clicking at that point, too.
You didn't
The
have
first
Minka
week of the
until week
season.
3. So, if you had,
If you had Minka against the Seahawks,
even with, the quarterback situation, you probably win.
yeah.
Because even in that game, Sean Davis came back, and then he got hurt in that game again, and been out for the year since.
He's gone, huh?
So, yeah. I was hopeful that he would come back this year for the rest of the year just to replace, like, the Cam Kelly role
Yeah.
as the third safety.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously Minka's far and above what Sean Davis is,
Yeah.
but Sean Davis is better than Cam Kelly. So,
Yes.
as a third safety, I would very much welcome his presence on the field in
And
that role.
you got to
But-
imagine Cam Kelly's not back next season.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Extend Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather have Bud over Mike Hilton at this point.
What do you think are, like, if the season ended today, what would your biggest storylines of the season be? Because there's a bunch. Like,
Well,
obviously,
one has to be Bud.
yeah.
The other has to be Minka for DPOI. And Watt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Watt would win Defensive Player of the Year before Minka. I mean, he plays a more important position.
Yeah. They've both been so good.
But and the thing is too, like, I want to say that Watt impacts a game more than Minka does.
Uh-huh.
But the problem with saying that is Watt has been on this defense for the past couple years.
Yeah.
And they haven't been that good.
Yeah.
But, all of a sudden Minka comes in and completely flips the script.
And Steven Nelson.
So, yeah.
Steven Nelson's been incredible. Joe Hayden has what, like 12 pass deflections
Yeah,
already?
he only had 9 going into they talked about how he had 9 yesterday and then he had 3 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just can't catch the ball.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, people are like, oh, he should catch the ball. It's not that hard. It's like, okay, he's full out diving. Come on. Come on now. I don't see you do that.
He's gotten burned
yeah.
a couple times recently too.
Which is going to happen. He's older.
But, yeah.
He's still not bad.
No, and
He's
you
still
talk about
very
him
good.
now as your second corner.
Yeah.
So,
And then behind that, you have Mike Hilton.
and
Who's-
Cam Sutton.
But Cam Sutton is also another, like,
The thing with Cam Sutton is he's probably going to prevent the Steelers from paying
Mike Hilton. Yeah. Which might not be that bad of a thing because then Justin Lane gets a chance.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people forget about Justin Lane. He's kind of just being, like,
Special teams.
red-shirted this year, at
Yeah.
least from a corner perspective. But, yeah, he made a great special teams play yesterday, which is how you get your foot in the door
Yeah.
for defense, is
Yeah.
playing on special teams.
Artie Burns is gone.
So, yeah.
Thank God. Terrell Edmonds has not been great.
He's but that's what you're talking, like, the weak links on defense, if you would call them weak links, are like him and Barron.
Yeah.
So,
Who almost had a safety.
and the thing with Edmonds is he really a weak link? He just doesn't make plays on the ball. Like, he has no ball skills. But for the most part, people don't get behind him.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd just made a phenomenal one-hand catch
That was
yesterday.
insane.
And, like, Terrell Edmonds, who you haven't really heard his name all year, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, let everybody else on the defense make their plays.
Let him grow.
He shouldn't have been a first rounder.
No.
But that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's just been average, which is fine. On a great defense, you're going to have at least 1 or 2 guys that are that way.
Yeah.
But he lets up one-handed catch to Tyler Boyd, and I see people just saying he sucks on Twitter all of a sudden.
I mean, he didn't look great the past couple weeks, at least in my eyes. That catch, though.
I just haven't really noticed him, which is, once again,
That's
go
what I
back
mean,
to
like
Jack Johnson, like,
Yeah. There have been 1 or 2 plays where I was like, maybe he could have made the tackle, or maybe he could have got a hand on that ball, but like.
He's
still.
never did a hand on the ball.
Yeah.
He has no ball skills whatsoever.
He's also very small. Isn't he like 5'10"?
I was gonna say from
He'll
stature
get a hand on the ball.
perspective, like from stature, I'm not sure how tall he is, but he's ripped.
Oh yeah.
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 You just, I mean, it's not like ball skills are all of a sudden just gonna come along. You know, most of it's instinct. So I just feel like he is what he is.
Devin Bush has been very good.
Yeah, but okay, so we were talking about it. I was with my dad right before I left. I was looking at the snaps. From
Why
yesterday
is
for the
Mark Barron
linebackers.
playing more?
Yeah, well, Mark Barron but I'm not so much concerned about Bush at least long term because I know that like next year he's going to be completely full time.
Yeah.
Inside.
I would imagine.
But the thing is, Vince Williams is set to make $7 million next year. So is Mark Barron.
Ooh.
One of them is not going to be back, and Mark Barron played 57 snaps yesterday to Vince Williams 9 on defense.
9?
He played 9 snaps on defense.
See, I would argue besides Mark Barron has not been great. Mark Barron is more expendable with Bush because Bush is a better, in my opinion, like passing backer.
Yeah. Though he hasn't been great
Vince-
this year, that's what he's here
yeah.
for. Yeah.
Vince has been very good against the run. Against the pass, not so much. That's why he sucked last year.
Well, that's why Barron was brought in. But the
Yeah.
problem is Barron has been even worse
Yes,
than Vince was when he was covering
but
people.
Devin Bush has been good.
Yeah. Bush and Williams should be your number 2 linebackers. You know, Barron comes in maybe situationally to cover somebody, but he hasn't been good doing it.
No,
So, I mean, he made a nice play yesterday that looked like a safety originally, but
probably
wasn't.
could have been.
But in large, he's thrown to a ton. Tight ends beat him regularly. That's typically who he's covering, or a running back out of the backfield.
Yeah,
And he hasn't been good at doing what he was brought here to do, which is cover people in the middle of the field,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
What we've been missing for years. And he's been no better than the guys that we've thrown out there off the streets to do it.
literally off the street.
So, I mean, I would rather have L.J. Ford here again.
Yeah, didn't he just sign an extension in Baltimore?
Yeah, 3-year deal or something, which is surprising. But
Yeah,
originally went to Philly in the offseason.
Got
I didn't
cut.
think he was bad here. I think that a lot of people had like a sour taste in their mouth because they put him on Keenan Allen for a game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
So, it pretty much like Sean Davis against Gronkowski.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
just,
what it is.
that's not going to work.
And it doesn't help Sean Davis that you may or may not have got one of the best safeties in the league.
Yeah. Pro Bowl voting. As of right now, we would have 5 Steelers
Still,
starting.
wow.
Pouncey would be one of the 2 centers. Watt would be one of the 2 edge guys. Bush actually in the middle.
Yep.
Would be one of the 2 guys. Minka and Kim Hayward. Defensive tackle.
Cool. Crazy.
Or defensive end, I should say.
Crazy. 5 out of 11. Well, 4 out of 11 technically.
On the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And, I mean, I'm not – there's a ton of – there's still a lot of time to go, but also there's to be more people in there.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if Bud gets on any ballots.
I won't be shocked. Would not be shocked at all.
I can't think of, like, anybody else that would even – maybe DeCastro just based off, like, reputation.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that, I mean, he doesn't get interceptions, so he's not going to be, but Steven Nelson deserves
Should be.
consideration.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you have a guy that completely shuts down half the field.
Yeah.
Like, people,
And Chiefs
their
were
mouths water
complaining
over
about it.
Jalen Ramsey, and he's been
Yeah.
bad since going to
Yes.
L.A.
Whatever happened to he's with the Panthers now. Wait, no. It's with the Redskins, wasn't the Panthers.
Norman.
Yeah,
Josh
what
Norman.
happened to him?
So he was supposed to be healthy scratched yesterday,
Ooh.
and they decided at, like, the 15 minutes before they had to like, do
Turn
that,
that in, yeah.
that it was going to be somebody else, like another cornerback.
So he's been bad?
So, yeah. I mean, the Panthers, he's been bad pretty much the entire time in Washington. Maybe the first year he was okay, but the Panthers definitely made the right choice. They originally tagged him, and then they
Yeah.
rescinded the tag and
Oh.
let him be a free agent.
Oh.
And the Redskins signed him to, like, a huge deal. So,
Hate to see it.
it hasn't worked out. Like we mentioned, the Steelers are still in the wild card race. Sunday's
spot.
game is huge because with the way that the Browns are playing recently and the way that the schedules line up, you could argue that,
If we lose,
Whoever
are we
wins-
tied?
yeah, they'd both be 6-6. So, I mean, the Bills have an extra game on everybody.
Which is funny.
Yeah. So, looking at it right now,
And then we play the Bills.
but we play them, and they also have, like, the toughest remaining schedule out of the teams in the wild card mix. They still play
the Pats.
So they play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. They play the Cowboys, Ravens, us, Pats, Jets.
Oh, they're
And the
mowing.
Jets are putting it together recently, too, so that's not like an easy game. It is at home for them, though.
Ooh.
For the Steelers, they play Cleveland, Arizona, Buffalo, the Jets, and then the Ravens. The good thing about playing the Ravens Week 17 is maybe they have nothing to play for.
They're
No, I'm not saying
their starters.
I'm not saying they're going to lay down for the Steelers. Obviously, that's not going to
yeah.
happen. But
There's
if
no way to
you're-
put Lamar in.
if you're locked into the second seed,
Yeah.
like if the Patriots win the rest of their games and you're locked into that second seed going
Yeah.
into Week 17,
Yeah,
like I don't see a point in them playing Lamar.
exactly.
The Raiders, who huge loss yesterday, the Jets kind of took them out of control in their own destiny. They go to the Chiefs next week.
Ooh.
Then they still play the Titans, who are coming on recently. The Jaguars, Chargers, Broncos.
Is Tannehill the quarterback now?
Yeah.
Good.
And yeah, so I know Dan Orlovsky from ESPN actually has the Bills and Titans as his 2 wild cards now.
Fair enough.
The Colts play the Titans, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, Jaguars. The aforementioned Titans finish with the Colts, Raiders, Texans, Saints, Texans. So I don't like that schedule.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at their schedule because they just recently came into the playoff mix. But they still play the Texans twice. Man, how's Dan Orlovsky?
Which could be hit or miss. The Texans
I mean,
have not
even if
looked
they split with them, though, they still play the Saints
good. Yeah.
at Oakland and at the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
3 of their final 5 are on the road.
I feel like it's just disrespecting the Texans and the Colts.
Now, the Browns, on the other hand, they have pretty much the same, very favorable schedule as like the Steelers do. They still play the Bengals twice.
oh,
So they finish with the Steelers, Bengals, Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals.
so they're going at least 500.
Yeah, they're 5-6 right now. If they beat the Bengals both times, that puts them at 7 wins. Yeah, I mean, you'd figure they'd win at least one between the Steelers and Cardinals, even if they automatically lose to the Ravens,
Yeah.
which they beat the Ravens
If they
at Baltimore. So they get them at home this time.
I can't believe they beat the Ravens.
Yeah,
They killed them.
they put
Literally.
40 on them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Nick Chubb got me 38
But
points that week.
even though the Bills have 2 games on like the rest of the field, I don't see them winning more than 1 from the Cowboys, Ravens, us Patriots.
Yeah.
I think they go 1-3 in that stretch,
Yeah. Agreed.
and that's at Dallas, home against the Ravens, but then at Pittsburgh and at New England.
Woof.
So if they go 1-3 in that stretch, all of a sudden they're 9-6, and then they play the Jets at home, so they can still finish 10-6. But I mean, that might not do it. If the Steelers can go, 4-1 in their final 5, they'd also be 10-6, and if they beat the Bills, they'd have the advantage there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still wide. The AFC stinks this year. The fact that we're even talking about the Steelers being able to make the playoffs. And heck, if New England would have beat the Ravens like pretty much everybody expected, we could still be talking about a division race.
Yeah. Boy, that game went weird.
Ravens
I lost
finish.
money on it.
The Ravens remain schedule. 49ers next week
Good luck.
at Buffalo, home against the Jets, at Cleveland, home against the Steelers. But see, part of me, I feel like the division's out. I feel like it's Baltimore's division.
Yeah.
So part of me wants them to pretty much run the table until week 17 and then have nothing to play for.
Yeah. Or lose one of those weeks so, there is some separation between the Pats and them.
Well, the Pats have 2 games on them.
Oh.
So,
whatever.
No, the Ravens play tonight.
Mm.
So if the Ravens lose, they would have 2 games on them because they're 10 and Ravens are 10 and or Patriots are 10-1, Ravens are 8-2.
Okay, yeah, I want that 2-game cushion.
So yeah, if they lose, they're 8-3. If they win, they're 9-2, just 1 game, and the Ravens have the advantage. So yeah, you're probably right. They do need to lose 1 to
Not play anyone.
to give them enough cushion there, but they'd still also have cushion over whether it be the Texans or Chiefs that are the 3 and 4.
Next week could be a Super Bowl preview. The Ravens and 49ers.
They already played in it once.
That'll be cool. That'll be a good game. Is that a
I
Sunday night?
cannot believe the way that the Niners handled the Packers.
I know. They look bad, dude. Packers look bad.
I mean, okay, so updated picks from AFC and NFC. Who are you taking?
To go to the Super Bowl?
I'll take the Ravens, absolutely.
I'm still picking the Pats.
Part of me thinks, and this would be big brain by the Patriots. They pretty much showed the Ravens absolutely nothing in that game,
Yeah.
and were fine with losing it because they know that that's their biggest threat, and they're probably to play against in the AFC Championship. So that's when they'll go all out.
And assuming that game is in New England, they don't lose there.
Yeah.
The Patriots' offense has been so abysmal, though, but their defense is better. Like, it's been better the last 2 years than we've ever seen.
I'm going to say the Saints.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say that I'm not buying into the 49ers because they're a very good football team, but like I just feel like the Saints' experience is gonna, and they're pissed off from last year.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the experience will overcome.
If Kittle gets hurt any more than he is currently,
He's already played with a broken bone in his ankle.
that's what I mean.
So, yeah.
If it gets any worse, then I don't know, man.
I'm picking Pats and Seahawks.
Seahawks is another good one.
There's
Seahawks.
like 4 or 5 teams from the NFC I could see it being. 49ers, Saints. Even though they just got blown out by the 49ers, potentially the Packers.
Mhm.
They have a better defense than they've had recently. Seahawks, Vikings, even.
Vikings. Ooh.
Kirk Cousins has been, you could argue, an MVP candidate
Yeah.
since week 3.
Yep.
Did you know that the Redskins and the Eagles don't have a touchdown from our receivers in their last 6 weeks? Combined. A receiver has not caught a touchdown for either team.
Wow. That's crazy.
We talked about our receivers.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyways, mine is... Yeah, I can't go away from New England. I'm going to say New England, and I'm going to say the Saints.
Yeah, I in my head, I'm already thinking New England already has 7.
8.
7.
Don't they already have 7?
No,
No, they have
Oh.
6.
they tied us. Brady has
that's
tied
right.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of
Double
how we always say like during free agency, like this player is on this team until they're not,
Uh-huh.
or like something like that. I'm saying like they have 7 Super Bowls until they don't.
Have you seen all the stuff? Like, Tom Brady isn't happy with the offense and everything, and his deal's
Yeah.
up, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And his house is for sale.
We actually bought a new house
I'm
in
kind
that
of...
same like area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, everybody was freaking out that his house was for sale.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Pat, though.
I
If
didn't.
you guys
I don't know
saw
what
that.
Pat said.
So, I think Philip Rivers going to retire. And I think he goes to the Chargers. I think
They
he's
don't
gonna,
have fans.
I think he's going to pull a LeBron. He's going to go out
Why,
there to further his
hold on.
career.
Why does the Rams have fans and the Chargers don't?
Because everybody,
because
everybody
the
thinks-
Chargers are the bitch boys from the South.
But like
the Rams were already there before.
Yeah.
I know, but like San Diego's not that far.
I know. I don't know.
Like San Diego is like, I mean, I made that drive earlier this year. It's like an hour drive.
Yeah. But it's also like an hour from Mexico.
San
I mean-
Diego,
Yeah.
it's like on the border.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not even. It's an hour
It's-
from Mexico City, I think. Might be a little longer.
Say it's 5
3
minutes. It's 5 minutes from Mexico.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I mean, they were struggling as far as a fan base when they were in San Diego, as well.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy. Like at least the Rams games, they fill up the Coliseum.
The Chargers are stuck in that perennial, we're good, but we're not good enough. You know?
Yeah, and now they're not even good.
Good, yeah.
The quarterback stinks.
Yeah.
But I did see someone say it might have been Pat McAfee saying that maybe Brady wants to prove he can do it without Belichick, which I think would be the dumbest thing you could do.
I would agree. But may happen.
The only
If that happened, I would find that probably to be one of the biggest sports things that's happened in our lifetime, probably.
I think it'd be the biggest mistake of his career.
Probably.
he doesn't have many. So, but it would definitely, to me, be a place like warmer weather.
Yeah.
Like where you would want to live.
Further his
So
career
just
after.
move there after you retire. He only got like a year or 2 left. We hope.
Yeah, hopefully. So according to him, he thinks like him and his trainer think he could play to like 47, 48.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be nuts. What is he, 42 or 43 now?
42.
What's Vinatieri?
Vinatieri's
Washed.
Yeah,
It's like going on 50.
yeah,
That's what he is washed.
literally.
Thank you for a win, by the way.
Yeah. Technically, it was the snapper, but
Yeah, well, he's been terrible all year, so I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
I don't see Brady playing anywhere else. Like, I'm going to be absolutely shocked if he does.
Oh no, I agree. I was just curious what you guys thought.
If I were, and I said about the destination, like it would have to be like a location where you would want to live. But I'm trying to think of like a good team.
Go play
is
for
really just-
Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but
Miami
they're not
needs
just
a
a quarterback
quarterback.
away. Like,
I mean, if you give the Chargers a good quarterback,
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't think of another team that is literally just a quarterback away from competing.
Steelers.
Well, that plays, but also the warm weather factor
Yeah.
or a dome.
Drew Brees' deal's up.
Yeah, he's not. going
Does he
anywhere.
go back to San Francisco?
We mean back.
Does he go to the Colts?
Didn't he get drafted by the Chargers? The trade?
Oh, you said San Francisco, San Diego,
yeah,
L.A.
sorry,
Chargers.
sorry.
I don't
Yeah.
think he'd go back there. I think he's too spiteful about it.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
What if he went to the Colts?
Oh
They
man.
play in a dome.
Oh man.
They have a decent team.
What about the Lions if Stafford can't come back?
Hmm.
Matt Patricia.
Yeah, well, he might not be there, so
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
He's
Anyway.
not going anywhere.
Was that it?
Yeah, it pretty much wraps it up.
Good to be back.
Yeah, we'll figure out what we're doing and talk to you guys then. But until then, we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Also, Hunter Renfro's hurt.
Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day with loved ones and family. Don't get killed on Black Friday.
Broken rib and punctured lung.
Wow. Rocking around the 412 year 2's going on, so be sure to check that out. It's our pinned tweet on Twitter. Go check out podupnetwork.com. We're on there. All the other shows from the network are on there. This show is sponsored by Teach Barbershop, located at 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. Open 10 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and Saturday 9 to 4. Teach Barbershop offers $5 off military personnel, first responders, and nurses every single Tuesday. And he's also got Teach Christmas Drive going on right now, where everything donated, whether it be toys, monetary, clothes, Christmas cards, or whatever, is donated to the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. We want to thank you guys again for listening this week, whether it be on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Head on over to twitch.tv/around412 and come join us live next time. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man, run in the stand.